If there's one task I don't like about yard maintenance, it's dealing with trimmer cord. It is such a hassle to rewind these after they run out. So what I want to know is which one of these trimmer cords is going to last the longest and deliver the best performance. So let's get the testing underway and see which one of these products is the best. Most of us have some sort of a concrete in our yard, whether it's the driveway or the side of a house. So what we're going to do now is measure how much endurance each of these cords have when they run up against a flat edge of concrete at 2,500 RPM. Now most trimmers function at a much higher speed than that at wide open throttle around 6,000 to 7,000 RPM. And most of the time when you're trimming around concrete or a sharp edge, most of us will lower the RPM to avoid causing unnecessary damage to the trimmer cord. So at 2,500 RPM, that's fast enough to mow the grass, but not fast enough to do it aggressively. So let's see how these cords hold up. To ensure that we have exactly 2,500 RPM, I've attached a drill to the trimmer shaft, and I've also placed this shaft on top of a stand to ensure that our height remains exactly the same. So we are applying force at the same angle each time we run each product through this test. All the trimmer cord we'll be testing today is the same diameter. We'll be testing Stihl, okay, the Stihl cord is 5 5/8, 5 3/4. Extreme Professional cuts more area and lasts longer than residential line. It also has a softer inner core for flexibility. So the trimmer cord started off at 6 inches. It's now at 5 9/16 on one side, 5 5/8 on the other. The trimmer cord is very jagged and has begun splitting apart. Husqvarna Titanium Force claims to be a professional grade with maximum cutting power and reduces noise level. The Husqvarna is 5 15/16 and 6 inches on the other. So the Husqvarna showed that very little wear occurred from impact with concrete. Oregon Magnum Gator line is a square shape and is professionally tested. The Oregon Gator line is at 5 3/4 and 5 3/4. You can actually see how the Gator line has split apart and the string in the middle has become exposed. Cyclone trimmer cord has 6 different sides to it. Cyclone commercial line has a scientific shape that lasts longer and cuts better. Five 5/8, 5 15/16. Are round trimmer cords quieter than square ones, or is the 6-sided cord quieter than the round cord? To compare the sound of each of these trimmer cords, we're going to make sure that the trimmer head is placed the exact same distance from the sound meter, and we're going to use the highest sound recorded. Shop testing products only go so far. What people really want to see are real-world results demonstrated in a fair and consistent manner. So what I've decided to do is set up this trimmer on top of a lawnmower deck to ensure that the height of the trimmer cord is maintained at exactly the same level for each of the products we test. Also, the lawnmower is self-propelled. It's going to be going exactly the same speed in first gear. Additionally, I've disabled the blade on the lawnmower so it will not interfere with the test. Once we test one product, we're going to measure how much trimmer cord was used, and then we're going to move on to the next product and see how it does as well. The brush you're going to be mowing is at least 3 to 4 times as thick as the cord that we're going to be using. So this is going to put these brands to the test. So the trimmer cord is going to be mowing some fairly thick brush. It's going to be about 4 inches off the ground. We're going to travel about 300 feet through this pasture, mowing a lot of brush and grass, and when we get back, we're going to measure how much cord we've used with each one of the brands. This is a Cyclone brand. The first cord is 5 3/4 inches and the second one is 5 1/2 inches. The Stihl trimmer cord is 5 5/8 and 5 5/8. Okay, the extreme is 5 5/8 by 5 9/16. Thus far it is 5 5/8, 5 7/16. Okay, the Oregon Gator line is 5 9/16 and 5 3/8. So does cord shape really matter? Do round cords cut as well as the square cords? It seems like a square object would cut better than a round one simply because it has a sharp edge. I'll be using a Stihl FS90 at wide open throttle. I'll make one quick pass through some grass and we'll look at the blades of the grass to see if they are jagged or if it's a smooth cut. I used the extreme cord for this. That's a square cord. You can see the edges are fairly smooth. There is one jagged piece of grass, but for the most part, it did a pretty good job of cutting the grass evenly and smoothly. The Cyclone trimmer cord was used to cut this grass. The Cyclone has the 6 sides to it. I really can't tell a difference between the Cyclone and the square cord. I used the Stihl round trimmer cord for this test. I really can't see any difference between the square, the 6-sided, and the round. They all seem to look about the same. So, which product won this competition? Just by the numbers alone, Husqvarna came in first place by having the least amount of cord loss. During the most objective test that we did, Husqvarna lost less than 1% when it was thrashing up against the concrete block. Very impressive. What was more impressive to me though, and something I really learned from this video, was that the round cords tend to track straighter once they come in contact with the solid object. Also, regarding the sound levels, they made different sounds. The round cords sounded different than the ones that weren't round, but the total amount of volume was about the same. Anyway, I really enjoyed doing these videos. Thank you guys for recommending it. Please keep those ideas coming and I'll keep making videos. Until next time, please take care and look forward to seeing you then.